Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Canto 10, the Sonam Bonam, Chapter 10, Worshipping Govardhan Hill. Text, it's Chapter 24, Worshipping Govardhan Hill, and this Canto 10. And text is 28. Because 28 doesn't have a purport, we will just read the translation. After giving the appropriate food to everyone else, including such fallen souls as dogs and dog eaters, you should give grass to the cows and then present your respectful offering to Govardhan Hill. Please repeat after me. Su alankritaha bhuktavantaha su anuliptaha su vasasaha. Yeah, words. Directly shloka. Verse number 29. Okay, repeat again. Su alankritaha bhuktavantaha su anuliptaha su vasasaha pradakshinam cha kuruta go vipra anala parvatan swalankrita bhuktavantaha swanulipta suvasasa pradakshinam cha kuruta go vipranala parvatan go vipranala parvatan swalankrita bhuktavantaha sviyanulipta suvasasa pradakshinam cha kuruta go vipranala parvatan swalankrita bhuktavantaha swanulipta suvasasa pradakshinam cha kuruta go vipranala parvatan go vipranala parvatan swalankrita bhuktavantaha swanuliptaha suvasasa pradakshinam cha kuruta go vipranala parvatan swalankrita bhuktavantaha swanulipta suvasasa pradakshinam cha kuruta go vipranala parvatan. Matajis. Swalankrita bhuktavantaha swanulipta suvasasa pradakshinam cha kuruta go vipranala parvatan. Word by word translation. Sualankrita, handsomely adorned. Bhuktavantaha, having eaten to your satisfaction. Suanuliptaha, anointed with auspicious sandalwood pulp. Suvasasa, wearing fine garments. Pradakshinam, circumambulation. Cha, and Kuruta, you should perform. Go, of the cows. Vipra, the Brahmanas. Anala, the sacrificial fires. Parvatan, and the hill Govardhan. Translation and purport by disciples of Srila Prabhupada. After everyone has eaten to his satisfaction, you should all dress and decorate yourselves handsomely. Smear your bodies with sandalwood paste and then circumambulate the cows, the Brahmanas, the sacrificial fires, and Govardhan hill. Lord Krishna wanted all the human beings and even the animals to eat nice Bhagavad Prasadam, sanctified food offered to the Lord. To enthuse his relatives with festive mood, he requested them to dress beautifully with fine clothes and ornaments, and to refresh their bodies with luxurious sandalwood paste. The essential activity, however, was the circumambulation of the holy Brahmanas, cows, sacrificial fires, and especially Govardhan hill. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunatena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swamita Namane. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamita Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshtarane. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Kaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So here we see that all this through the chapter, Krishna is just, for him he is a supreme person, the boss of boss. Just one action and many tasks achieved through him. We have seen, just to see that Indra's worship is not performed by the Vrajavasis, he gives various arguments. One is, he talks about Karma Mimamsa, and secondly then he talks about Sankhya philosophy, which is, Karma Mimamsa is nothing but to show, to say that it's only the action which is the ultimate thing. And if you do right actions, right result. If you do bad action, bad actions. So action is the most important part. We know what it is though. Then second is Sankhya philosophy, which talks about this, the whole world being divided into smaller elements. Analyzing, you come to know actually the nature's machinery which is acting. And there is no one as such. It's just the machinery is put in the place. So all these arguments which was given by Krishna, which is kind of incomplete though, but it was convinced, all the Vrajavasis were convinced. Why? Because for them Krishna was Gokula Ranjana. For the residents of Gokul, for what is? Krishna is their delight, is a darling. Whatever he has to say, they will follow. Their aim of life is only pleasure of Krishna. That's it. Even these arguments actually were not to be there. Even if this Krishna had to tell the Vrajavasis, just worship Govardhan, it was sufficient for them. But just to kind of give explanation, he is giving, but we know what's behind the scene. So, Dharmanta Shakshat Paridhanam, this in explanation by Yamadut, Yamraj, he gives what is dharma which is given by the Lord. Dharma cannot be concocted by any conditioned soul. And what is that dharma? Which pleases the Lord. So Krishna is here giving what pleases him the most. He said now circumambulation of the fire sacrifice, the brahmanas, the cows, and the worshipping of Govardhanil. That will give him pleasure. And this is what all this Rajavashis is planning to do. So, Srila Prabhupada would give an example where when we present the argument that if Krishna even had to even eat meat, we wouldn't mind eating meat, because we are Krishnatarians, we are not vegetarians as such. We do only what Krishna wants, because Krishna is the Supreme Person and we are his part and parcel. Just like when Krishna gets pleasure, when he becomes happy, we become happy. Krishna is the primary enjoyer and we are the secondary enjoyer. And the Shastras explains to us again and again, just like stomach and the parts of the body, though the hands and the legs works very hard, the stomach is the enjoyer. And when the stomach is enjoyed with the hard work through the food what is supplied to it, automatically the hands and the various limbs of the body gets nourished. This is simple. This is how the Shastra explains us what means is to be a primary enjoyer and what is a secondary enjoyer. So we all, as jivas, are basically a secondary enjoyer. Once we see that Krishna is satisfied, we will be automatically satisfied. So that's what actually dharma is. And here we see that Krishna is actually giving all these arguments, which is kind of incomplete, I said, is he wanted to in fact invoke Indra's wrath. He wanted to provoke him that I'm stopping your worship, let me see what you can do. So he gave both these arguments which are kind of incomplete. So because in both these arguments of Karma Mimamsa philosophy, which talks about action, that action only gives good result, but it fails to put in that who actually put this system in place. Yes, nice that if you do nice action, you will get nice result. But actually, who is the person? Things doesn't just come by its own. Yeah. Just like when things go smooth, everything looks very nice. But something goes wrong, then it gets to the attention and we try to find who the culprit is. So as long as this nature is working very nice, it looks very nice that something is going smoothly, and we think, and it's quite natural that it's going naturally, there's no one behind, it's only person who is only intelligent. Actually normal person doesn't even care for who is running or how things are working. It's only the intelligent people who goes behind the scene and check who is actually running the show. But for a normal person, yes, let it go. But once things go, they fail, when something goes wrong, then only they find who the culprit is. No matter what it could be, just like the initially, now recently we had this problem of HIV problem, where small children got infected with HIV, and they found there's some mixing of blood happening. But they go on to find out who the person is. They don't say it happens by just automatically. All these people, liberals who are atheists, they never talk about this. They look for culprit. Who is the culprit? Who is the person behind this? If something goes wrong, some theft or robbery happens, they go and knock the doors of the justice to find who the culprit is. And here, when the nice machinery of this creation, maintenance and destruction takes place, we fail. The so-called intelligent people, they fail to understand who is running the show, because their focus is, as we know from Bhagavad Gita, is only their desires. How the slokas goes? They are only, in the 7th chapter, it talks it only by hate and desire, we forget to understand who is running the show. Ichha dvesha samutena dvanda mohena bharata. It's basically all this, within this, the domain of dualities, we forget to address Who is running the show? Because it's the Maya which is covering everything, pushing us into this dualities of our body to look what is we need and what we don't like. And this is only where we are captured in. So, here, because we know from Bhagavad Gita, the devotees note that all this machinery is run by only one person. Maya Dakshida Prakriti Suyate Saraj Suyate Chara Chara Hetunena Kaunteya Jagada Viparivartate. Krishna says that all this, under my supervision, this particular entire machinery is working. And for this reason, that I am there, that this entire nature is working. Otherwise, it's just dull. We devotees all know this. But for this, all these arguments, karma mimamsa, which is incomplete, which is Krishna is giving atheistic philosophies, just to invoke the wrath of Indra, to see what Indra can do. Because he knew that basically Indra has got puffed up because of his position. And he wanted to, because Indra is Jiva, just like any other Jiva who are there, and pious he has taken a bigger position, but because of his position, because it's all material nature, it's all contaminated. And because of being in that position, you have that contamination of me being the enjoyer. I am the ultimate, I am the supreme. So this Indra also had this particular Swamitva bhav, this bhav that I am the enjoyer, I am the person. And Krishna, when he sensed it, he wanted to destroy it. Right now also we see that here, in modern world, human beings are all trying to make things automated, yes? We have the AI, driverless machine. It looks that driverless cars, that the car is moving without a driver. It's very nice. AI, which is you don't require a separate programmer. The program is such that it all in itself can generate programs. But here you require, no human touch is required. But an intelligent person knows that at least someone is behind this sin. Things just don't spring out. There is someone who is there. But these atheists who are there, who will only focus is things are going on their own. Yes? So, here at one place, Krishna, through his Vedas, is trying to tell that one should worship Indra. And the other extreme now, which is his case, he is asking not to worship Indra. So how do one reconcile this? At one place, through Vedas, Indra worship is mentioned. Indra, Charana, Varuna, all the demigods have to be worshipped. And at this particular juncture, when you see that, Krishna is saying not to worship Indra. So how do we reconcile these two extreme things? Yeah, Vedas is nothing but they are trying to move us from the animalistic platform to a transcendental platform, wherein in animalistic platform, what we see is what our only body needs. We are just possessed with what body needs and we run behind. And which is distinctly seen by eating, mating, sleeping, defending, which is the body's requirement. But on a transcendental platform, we are on a spiritual platform, which is that who we are actually, and that our job or our constitutional position is to serve Krishna. So this Vedas is a gradual way wherein one person from an animalistic mentality is moved to a transcendental platform where he is pleasing. In animalistic platform, you look for only yourself. You're self-centered. It's not even self-centered, you're bodily centered. Self-centered means basically it's a wrong word. Self means spirit, but you're not spirit-centered. We are bodily centered and we see only our body, our needs. That's it. We see in the case of dogs, yes. You put a food in front of him, any other dog comes, grrr, grrr. All these dogs, they pounce on the other dog because it wants to enjoy the food by himself. But for a transcendentalist, it's a different scenario. He sees the interest of the other and then the interest of oneself. So this particular reconciliation can be only explained, can be only understood by an example of a cycle, yes? A cycle, when it's a small cycle, when the child wants to ride a cycle, there are side wheels on it. So the child, when he's learning the cycle, the wheels are there and he's riding. And when the child is there, he's riding, it's good, very nice. But as he learns to ride the cycle, he knows to balance the cycle. The same wheels which are at the side becomes a nuisance. Because it cannot take sharp turns, because he cannot be agile. With the cycle, he cannot do tricks. The same cycle, the same side supports which were there, the small wheels, becomes a problematic. So initially, the demigod worship which is mentioned in Vedas is just the beginning to move us from the animalistic platform, to have a gradual transformation, to have our purification. But when one starts getting into the shelter of Narayan, shelter of Vishnu, Krishna, then you don't require the side wheels. It becomes a nuisance, it becomes a hindrance. The first step when you do basically of getting into devotional service or getting into Vishnu worship is basically we call as regulated worship, wherein with rules and regulations we try to follow. But we follow these rules and regulations just to begin to start the fire of a natural inclination of attraction toward Krishna. That is our Raganuga Bhakti, where we are spontaneously attracted. We don't require any force within us, force within or outside us, outside us to push for serving Krishna. So all this Vedas, which is the instruction of Bhagavad Gita by Lord Sri Krishna in the beginning of the 3rd chapter, it talks about worship of demigods, but that's the beginning point, it's not an end. And person who is serious of becoming free from these clutches of Maya, of being free of these bodily pushings, one has to get into Krishna's devotional service, and that there should not be any demigod worship. So this is how we understand these two things together. So regarding this program, what Krishna has given, what is presented, the same is been presented to us by our acharyas on a regular daily basis. We do it in the morning, that our bodily pushings, yes, just like you compare, the Acharya tells the entire creation, entire material world is basically nothing but a fire. Just like a moth which is there, it finds the fire attractive, it enters inside and burns itself, thinking that the fire is attractive, the moth enters and it burns. Similarly, we as jivas, specifically in terms of human beings where we have multiple senses, we enter into this material world of trying to gratify our senses, but actually we are getting more and more trapped. Just like the moth may be thinking that if I go deeper, the heat will be less. Similarly, by getting more and more into this sense gratification illusion, we are entering more into this samsara. And that has to be cut. We have to be brought to this intelligence that this is an illusion and it has to be cut. And this cutting, these lower tendencies can be only be extinguished by a higher taste. And the Acharya gives us the threefold program, the fourth program, first to have a knowledge that how bad is this world. And then by the worship of, by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is Lord Chaitanya's program. Second is by doing deity worship. And the third is basically by the prasadam. The prasadam, this is what is talked about. Krishna is talking about make nice arrangement, cook nice various food to be offer it to Govardhan hill, and then we will eat it. The idea is we get purified from our animalistic propensities, cutting our attraction to this material world. This is the only idea of this program. And once you get cut off attraction, when we are cutting this attraction to this material world, we are on a transcendental platform. We are able to understand who we are, and that's our natural position. So this particularly, even having nice prasadam is our stealth program. Stealth is like we have stealth weapon, yeah. There are, in warfare, there are something called stealth planes, radar, missiles, which cannot be caught by any radar. But they go undetected and they attack the enemy camp. Similarly, our prasad which is there, which is on our programs, people may not be interested in chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. People may not be attracted to deity worship, to come to temple. And even if you tell them that this material world is actually a sansar, it's a fireplace, it's a forest of where fire is there, they will not be interested. But prasadam, they will be attracted. But one should be very careful that as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructed, that Vishar anna khaile, malin hai man, malin man haile nahe Krishna smaran. You should be very careful that we eat prasadam, which is only cooked by devotees. And that will make us wonders. It will put us on the path of transcendence. I think with this I stop. If anyone has any question, comments. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।